Snow lovers across the Bluegrass State are happy yet again. I'm tracking another round of some very light snows. We'll show you who gets what coming up.
Police have an alert about a man they say has been breaking into cars parked outside gyms to steal purses.
WKYT investigates what police say about a controversial breathalyzer that will soon be used in Kentucky to determine if drivers are drunk.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News at 6.
Good evening. We are tracking our chances for another round of wintry weather. More light snow could fall in parts of the Bluegrass overnight.
And it could make roads slick by the morning commute. We begin tonight with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey. He shows us what he's tracking on the First Alert Defender. How about it?
Yeah, a lot of the snows that we're seeing out there right now are out across the western part of the Bluegrass State. There's a look at live First Alert Defender, and that is tracking from northwest to southeast. So a lot of the action is going to be to our west. Just some lighter snows into parts of central Kentucky, into the southern parts of the area. Already getting a few flakes that are showing up here on live First Alert Defender around the Lake Cumberland area, a little farther to the north into Liberty, into Casey County. A lot of that may not be reaching the ground just yet, maybe in more of flurry form, but where we see the brighter whites from Columbia down toward Lake Cumberland, yeah, we could pick up on a little quick sugar coating of snow over the next little bit. Bluegrass region, mainly cloudy skies, though we're starting to see on Defender a couple of pockets of some very light snow and flurries beginning to crank up from northwest to southeast. We track that through parts of Franklin County into Owen County, and Defender in a broader sense showing how the heavier bursts of snow are off to our west and are heading toward the south, though areas north of Louisville back toward Indianapolis, that's a little burst that'll try to develop and scoot into central Kentucky as we get a little deeper into the overnight. But make no mistake about it, best chance to put a little snow on the ground tonight, and stress the word little snow, would be across the areas in the darker blue. The areas that I have outlined in the good chance category have at least a decent shot of coating the ground, guys. Maybe a little more if we can get a heavier burst in here. But as we go through the next few days, this is one of several snow chances that I have. We do have a break by the middle of the week, and then snow returns for your weekend. The question is, will it be a little or something a little more? We'll answer that with a 7-day forecast just ahead.
Chris, thank you. Investigators say black ice caused a school bus to slide off a road in Madison County this morning. It happened along Highway 1295 near Richmond. Police say the bus with 23 Kirksville Elementary School students on board hit a patch of black ice and ended up over an embankment. But school leaders say no one was injured.
As far as this situation for us, it couldn't have been any better. A school bus loaded with kids, it could have been really, really bad for us and all those involved.
Madison County school leaders tell us the black ice actually formed after they checked roads this morning and determined it was safe to keep schools open. We have an alert tonight about a thief police say is targeting women. They say he's stolen purses in 2 central Kentucky counties.
Harrodsburg police have released this surveillance picture of the suspected thief. So far, police think he has targeted women in both Mercer and Franklin counties. Sean Moody is tracking the investigation in our top story at 6.
Franklin County Sheriff Pat Melton says this began with a purse theft in Harrodsburg.
He had targeted an elderly person going into the gym to work out. Obviously, she left her purse laying in the car. He was targeting that, and after she had went in, he knows he's got a little bit of time, waited till the lot was clear, took a rock, busted out the window, grabbed her purse.
He says the man used the woman's card at a nearby Walmart, racking up a bill of several $1,000s. He says that purse turned up behind the Frankfort Walmart. Then a similar crime happened at the West Frankfort YMCA. He says the man smashed a window, stole a purse, and used that woman's card.
The cards were used here at Kmart and a Super America gas station, so we've got good surveillance pictures of that as well.
Now, anytime you leave your car in a parking lot, the sheriff says you need to think about what you're leaving inside the car.
Same thing as Christmas. You know, put your purse in your trunk or take it in and lock it in your locker in the gym.
He's asking the public to watch for this man.
This is unacceptable. We're not going to tolerate it, and we want this individual. We want him in custody.
In Frankfort, Sean Moody, WKYT.
And the sheriff says the man appears to be driving a silver Ford Fusion.
Tonight, investigators have released new details about a kidnapping suspect they believe could be in the Lexington area. Both the FBI and police are looking for 25-year-old Robert Caldwell of Boyle County. They say he and another man kidnapped someone in Kansas City last week. Victor Puente has an update on the search.
And taking someone, hostage, is a very significant and dangerous thing to do.
The FBI says they're still trying to identify one of the men who kidnapped a 67-year-old in Kansas City, Missouri last week, but they believe they know who the other person involved was. Over the weekend, they identified 25-year-old Robert Caldwell of Junction City. They say he and another man carjacked the victim, taking him to a restaurant and an ATM before he could escape near St. Louis. The robbers then took off in his van.
At least one of the suspects crashed the car, and now we've identified that individual.
That crashed van was found near Bardstown. Police believe another car was stolen, then Caldwell went to Boyle County. They were searching for him Friday night, but they think he may have traveled from there to Lexington. Boyle County court records show Caldwell was arrested there in 2013 for an outstanding warrant for a robbery in Jefferson City, Missouri. Earlier today, one of Caldwell's relatives told me they hoped he was found soon and safe. They said they didn't have any other comment on the search. It's a sentiment the FBI is echoing.
Definitely something that got way out of hand, I just hope that we can find these individuals without anyone else getting hurt.
In Boyle County, Victor Puente, WKYT.
The FBI has said the car Caldwell could be driving is a gray 2008 Mitsubishi Eclipse with license plate 663JKY.
Tonight, police need your help finding a man they say stole money from a Richmond laundromat. Richmond police released this surveillance video of the man they're looking for. Just before 2 o'clock on Friday morning, police say he stole money from the Splash 'em Out laundromat on Red House Road. They say the man broke open a coin changer at the laundromat and took the money inside. He claimed his attorney failed him, so he asked to withdraw his guilty plea for murder. Former lawmaker Steve Nunn is serving life in prison for killing his former fiancée, Amanda Ross. Now, months after Nunn made his request, a Fayette County judge has issued a ruling. Jennifer Palumbo joins us from the live desk with the latest. Jennifer?
Sam, Fayette Circuit Judge Pamela Goodwine rejected Steve Nunn's motion to withdraw his guilty plea in the murder of Amanda Ross. And the judge also denied Nunn's motion to vacate his sentence. In her 17-page ruling, Goodwine said Nunn's guilty plea was freely, willingly, knowingly, and voluntarily entered, and no sufficient basis was presented to this court to set it aside. In 2011, Nunn was convicted of first-degree murder in the 2009 killing of Ross outside her downtown Lexington home. He claimed he deserved a new trial because his attorney at the time, Warren Scoville, gave him bad advice about pleading guilty instead of going to trial. According to court papers, Nunn believed a civil suit against him would be dropped if he pleaded guilty. The judge's office said this was the last step in Nunn's attempt to withdraw the guilty plea, although he can appeal Judge Goodwine's decision. At the live desk, Jennifer Palumbo, WKYT.
The 62-year-old Nunn is serving a life sentence without the possibility of parole.
Another Republican has officially entered the race for Kentucky governor. This morning in Frankfort, former Louisville Councilman Hal Heiner filed the paperwork to run. He's chosen former Lexington Urban County Council member Casey Crosby as his running mate. Heiner says he's excited about the race, and he says his top priority is bringing more jobs to Kentucky.
We've got to grow jobs, good jobs in Kentucky. It's what I've done privately for the last 25 years of my life. I know job attraction, job creation, and I want to bring that background, that experience into Frankfort for the first time in a very long time.
Heiner will face Agriculture Commissioner James Comer and former Kentucky Supreme Court Justice Will T. Scott in the Republican primary. Attorney General Jack Conway will face with Jeff Young in the Democratic primary, and Fark.com founder Drew Curtis is running as an independent. Funeral services will be held tomorrow in Owensboro for former Kentucky Senator Wendell Ford. The funeral will be at 11 Central Time at First Baptist Church. There are reports that former President Bill Clinton and Vice President Joe Biden will attend. Many people attended a memorial service for Ford yesterday at the state capitol. He died last week at the age of 90.
New breathalyzers are on the way to jails across the state. The Intoxilyzer 8000 will replace the 5000 version next month. But there's controversy in other states on whether this new breathalyzer is an accurate measure of intoxication. Investigative reporter Miranda Combs explains.
It's an instrument where the number following the decimal can lead to possible jail time and probable court time.
This all culminates in someone's trial or hearing on a DUI, and we don't want to put people or punish people, get them convicted for something if it's not real.
The headlines have hit other states. Breath tests banned from courtrooms. Judge finds breathalyzer not scientifically reliable. Prosecutor tells police to stop using controversial breathalyzers. And this is it, sitting in the Kentucky State Central Lab in Frankfort. There are 60 of these in Toxalyzer 8000s, ready to be released to jails across the state in February. The release has taken longer than expected, so long that some troopers were trained to use the Toxalyzer 8000 5 years ago and still haven't used one.
Some of the people that have been certified on the Toxalyzer 8000, even though we don't have any in the field yet, their certification has already expired.
So they'll have to be recertified through the Department of Criminal Justice. They say much of the delay was based on the stories coming from other states. Kentucky wanted to make sure they didn't make headlines, and to do that, testing and bug fixes took years.
We did not want to put out a product that, once it had been involved in actual cases and went to court, that they would be overturned due to something that we just didn't see or recognize, or a fault that happened that we didn't anticipate.
Central Lab Manager Laura Sudkamp says there are other options for breathalyzers, ones that haven't made news like the 8000. But Sudkamp says the problems other states were having weren't the manufacturer's fault, but the fault of the states for not being tedious in their testing. She's confident the readings here are accurate down to the decimal.
And right now, state police have 60 of the new breathalyzers. Now, these are the stationary ones you'll see at jails typically. 2 will go to each state police post district. The other 28 will be given to counties with the highest number of DUI arrests, guys.
Some people, Miranda, might wonder if there's all these questions with this Toxalyzer 8000, why not go with another breathalyzer?
Well, this company is actually in Kentucky, so they like the idea of keeping money in the state. Also, they've been working with this company for years. They had the Toxalyzer 5000 before this, so they feel comfortable, even if there are bugs, of working with the people there and communicating efficiently.
All right, Miranda, thank you.
Thanks.
The storm is hundreds of miles away, but a blizzard in the Northeast is affecting some people right here in the Bluegrass. We'll have that next.